was actually me tap dancing. You couldn't see my legs though, so
I know. And I was clapping and snapping.
you were. That's you majored in that at Robert Morris College.
Clapping and snapping.
Yep, you have a doctorate.
I'm Dr. Laugh and
Dr. Laugh.
Dr. Snap.
It's all possible. And everything's possible tonight because, of course, it's the EriDan Film Festival, the night where we get together to talk about film and the magic of being drifted off into faraway worlds to magical creatures and mythical beasts. I have no idea where I'm going.
I hope Dave says we need a longer intro. That wasn't even the intro.
That's just a countdown. That's just, hey, get your device ready. You know, that's
here.
What? Sam. Oh my God.
Forrest Gump, Sam.
How about that? Sam, I'm sure Sam has seen Forrest Gump.
Oh, he does the impression.
Wow, we're not even going to get 3 minutes in before we get an impression. That's awesome. Well, awesome. All right. Well, of course, we're going to talk about Forrest Gump tonight. This is your chance to join us for some conversation, and let's start the show. Okay. So honestly, I just keep playing all these videos so I can take a bite of my dinner.
I know. That's what I was saying. Like we did the longer intro because Eric's eating his dinner. I've had that. We've had the shows. I change my background every time we do a transition. If you want to be a guest tonight, you can go to EriDan.xyz. Just type that in your browser of choice.
So simple.
Chrome is your better one on your computer, or Safari if you're on your phone. EriDan, EriDan.xyz. And if you want to buy some nice merch, like a hat like this, go to EriDanShop.com. But don't go to EriDanShop.com if you're trying to go get on the show.
Yeah, no, that's not where you get on the show, but that is where you would get some lovely merch. So, all right, so let's bring in Dave. It's gonna be a little slower start tonight because we understand that some of our regulars had some slower plans or other plans. But Dave is already in the waiting room, so let's bring Dave in.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
How are you?
Just fine.
Just fine.
So what's your late dinner?
It would be a lovely Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember when we were children. Eric would take a chicken breast sandwich, throw it in the microwave, slice of cheese on a bun, and he had a name for it. It was like Wonder Sandwich or Super Sandwich, or I forget what it was.
I have no memory of this.
Your mom came up with the name. It was an old school name.
She would buy these. I mean, you could call them like breaded chicken patties.
It wasn't chicken.
But it was like a loaf.
They were like school cafeteria style.
Yes, they were like 15 of them in a big sleeve, like a loaf of bread.
Speaking of loaves of bread,
oh, I believe so. And it is Sam. How about that?
Howdy, Sam. Okay, you got the black t-shirt.
Let me present my loaf of bread.
Ooh.
What the hell is he talking about?
Just go with it. Just go with it. It's fine.
My name is Sam, and people call me Sam.
That's right.
And there it is.
There's the first official one.
That was pretty good.
You know, I was looking for the impression that you and I enjoy. I don't remember seeing it in the movie, actually. I may not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is.
I may not be a smart man, Jenny.
You weren't watching the movie then.
Yeah, it was.
But does he do this? Does he do the turnaround? I don't remember.
Oh, actually, he walks out on the porch with his hands on his lap.
I must have fallen asleep.
With his hands up here.
I thought so, and I heard him say,
detail.
This is why you're not an official film critic, Dan. You're writing reviews like, it really opened strong. I slept through the middle half hour. Then the end made no sense, so I give it a terrible review.
I don't claim to be a film critic.
And then
that's why you would have been a terrible film critic.
Yeah.
Then my iPhone died, and I couldn't finish the movie.
Or I might be the best film critic because I'm like everyone else.
Oh, you are every man.
Every man doesn't fall asleep in the middle of movies.
Well, maybe every man of a certain.
But I go back and rewatch them. This one, if it's a movie I've never seen and I fall asleep, I go back to where I go. Where did then I watch it from that point forward. I've seen this movie probably 30 times.
Right after he asks her to marry him.
That is correct.
And she's on the stairs, and he says that and walks out with his hands on his hips.
All right. I remember it now.
Will you marry me, Jenny? You don't want to marry me, Forrest.
Oh, she was so good in House of Cards.
Not to in part by.
Forrest Gump was in House of Cards?
No, Jenny was.
I know. But it would have been great if he was.
We have a chain going now. You realize you had Robert Duvall in 2 consecutive weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Haley Joel Osment now in 2 consecutive weeks.
Now we have Haley Joel Osment. All right,
let's Princess Bride next week so we can get the Robin Wright to treat.
Bring it up. Let's bring it up. Forrest Gump. The world will never be the same once you've seen it through the eyes of Forrest Gump. Starring in a newly updated card for the people who had so much pain and over our listing of the stars last week. Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, Gary Sinise, Sally Field, McKetty Williamson, and Haley Joel Osment. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Eric Roth. And the novel was by Winston Groom, but I understand outside of the $350,000 he got from the novel rights, he saw no money from the success of the movie, which the movie did very well with a budget of $55 million and a worldwide gross of $683 million. Critics, a little rough on this one on Rotten Tomatoes, 71%, but the audience, 95%.
Well, there's a couple of interesting facts about that movie. One of the competing movies at the time was Dumb and Dumber, which is a tough call.
That's a real double feature there.
That's a total double feature.
Dumber and Dumber.
Robin Williams was supposed to play Forrest Gump, but he couldn't because he was already roped into Jack, I think.
Well, and they wanted to get John Travolta, but he was
in a movie as bad as Jack.
Yeah, he was in Jack, and he's like,
You don't know Jack.
But they were after John Travolta too, but he was committed to Pulp Fiction.
Well, Tom Hanks took no salary for this movie. He only took percentage.
Right.
Which was a very good move in hindsight.
I may be a smart man, Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, I think he made out okay with that.
He pulled an Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. So, interesting story.
Please.
A little backstory here. So, apparently, Jim Hanks, Tom's brother, did a character in some other little independent movie that Tom basically stole Forrest Gump from. He had like a special needs character sort of. And a lot of the running scenes with the beard was actually Jim Hanks, not Tom Hanks.
He's listed in the credits as a running double. Yeah.
Yep.
And when I first moved to LA in 93, Eric, you may or may not remember this story. I pull into the Improv.
I don't remember this morning. What are you talking about?
I pull into the Improv in Santa Monica, and Bobby Collins, who was then just, he did the Certs commercials, was pretty big time comedian, had some specials. He goes, Jimmy. I'm like, what? He goes, oh my God, I thought you were Jimmy Hanks. My God, you look just like Jimmy Hanks. I'm like, oh, thanks. I had hair still. And I introduced myself. He goes, I said, I'm Dan Rose. He goes, oh, nice to meet you. And he said, if I can ever help you out, because I told him I just moved from Pittsburgh. He said, I love Pittsburgh. He said, I'm about to take over for Rosie O'Donnell on this show on VH1 Comic Spotlight. So maybe someday I can help you out. And so I always saw Bobby Collins. I'd see him. And then one night I was trying to get a spot at the Improv, and they said, if you can get somebody to recommend you, I'll give you a spot. And Bobby Collins was standing there. Hey, can you go down and recommend me? He goes, sorry, kid, I never saw your act. I mean, you seem like a nice guy. But I was like, welcome to Hollywood.
This name drop is sponsored in part by Aglets. Oh yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Nice shoes.
Those
look like comfortable shoes.
You can tell a lot by a man's aglets.
My feet hurt.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, probably do. I have it here. I have it right here. I'm just going to do the audio for you, though.
Why don't you love me, Jenny? I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
I added the music, but that's all right.
Yeah, I don't remember that music.
On there.
I am.
Moonshine porch.
That's right. How did that happen?
Jerry Lewis was out on the porch providing a little background music. Oh my goodness, how about that? That is fantastic. So hey, looks like the writers have returned from their other movie watching. So let's bring in some writers.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we've got all the writers.
Uh-huh.
You slid in there right on time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's a pro.
He's a pro. Pro slider.
I do have to say, one of my Cars and Coffee buddies does call me Lieutenant Dan. So I'm like, but I have legs. And the other thing was when my dad was sick, when he had his heart attack when he was 70, and he was having trouble talking afterwards because of the tube that was down his throat. The key word to see if he was doing okay was, could you say Gary Sinise? That was like his magic word. It was like for a while, Gary Sinise. Okay, he's feeling better now.
Wow.
Once you could say Gary Sinise.
Is your safety word whiskey?
No, it's Cool Whip.
Why am I saying what way?
Anywho.
So was this anybody's first time for Forrest Gump? I have to ask. Oh, Reagan. Well, how fabulous. That, well, I have quite a laundry list.
25 years old, right?
I have 27, actually. 27 in 5 days. Actually, Tom Hanks' birthday was 2 days ago, and this movie came out 27 years ago and 5 days ago. So, Reagan, since you were going to put you on the spot and ask you your thoughts, since you were the first timer for Forrest Gump.
The reason I hadn't watched it before was because my sister and her best friend at the time loved it, and they hated Jenny so much that it like kind of ruined the movie for me at the time. So I just never watched it. But we whatever, since they were really young, I get it. But that kind of turned me away from it. So I don't know. I really, really liked it. It was really interesting to me in a lot of ways. Like I really liked how Forrest saw people, like his mom was sleeping with his principal, but he was like, "Oh, my mom, it's great." You know what I mean? Like I just really liked that. I really like that aspect of his character in general.
Your mom really cares about your education, son.
But that was the biggest part for me, I think. It was just really well made, I think.
Yeah.
Zemeckis movies always look good. He really has a way with
it is a very gorgeous movie.
Really good look to his films. Yeah.
Yes. And he gets
the whole feather sequence took a while to shoot, from what I read. The feather that comes down and lands on his shoe, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Today it'd be 100% digital.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the digital stuff is the only thing that doesn't hold up for me in this movie.
Yeah, I feel that too.
The insertions,
I agree, but
the insertions work well, but the lips are awful.
Yeah.
The thing is, this was the first time I noticed them. The first time I watched it, I was just like, so watching it yesterday, I was like, oh, wow, I can see that now. But it's still very slight.
Yeah.
Not as noticeable as some movies that used it.
And it was revolutionary in its time. As much as 5 years later, the bullet time wasn't The Matrix. That was a really revolutionary thing, that they could be such a convincing insert of a new character into archival film.
Oh yeah.
And when Kennedy said, I believe he said he had to go pee. I'm like, at first I'm like, Kennedy? No. That's a digital effect.
Yeah. John is in the comments, and I'm not going to read all this, but you can feel free. to review some shrimp recipes if you'd like.
Shrimp is the fruit of the sea. You can barbecue, boil it, bake it, saute it. There's shrimp kebab, shrimp creole. That was like 9 scenes, too. That's what was so funny.
I'm guessing he found that and copied and pasted that into the. He did not type all that.
No, I talked to him today. He was going through that whole thing.
He was typing it all
Loves his shrimp.
from memory, I'm sure.
I got big gums. You better tuck that in.
You are some kind of genius, boy.
There's an amazing amount of excellent dialogue. I forgot how funny this movie is.
Yeah, it was
You know, and outwardly funny, and then also just the talking about Vietnam is like, well, it wasn't always fun.
Right. I got to hand it to the guy at the base. Like, I would recommend you for OCS. Take your gun apart, go.
That is a new platoon record.
Yeah.
Then I got to meet the president again.
Now, see, that was the kind of goofed it up for me is when he goes into the army. He graduates college. He goes into the army and is an enlisted man. He should have been an officer.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's right. He should have gone to OCS.
He shouldn't have been a private anyways. He could have been maybe a higher enlisted man.
We never heard what he majored in school.
No.
Division I football.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, all right.
I love this.
Yeah.
He took coming back and stuff. That's what he was talking about.
And also very casually. So after 5 years, I graduated.
Yeah.
Right. It's like just those little lines that are just.
That's normal now, though.
Yeah,
That reminds me of the line in Tommy
No, normal
Boy.
now is 2 or 3 years if you're really good because you'd never stay in to graduate.
No,
Oh, there's people that are the opposite of that. People staying for 8 years now just because they don't want to leave or do anything real.
You're not eligible to play beyond 4 years or 5 years unless there's a special circumstance. Yeah.
There's a line in Tommy Boy where Chris Farley says, a lot of people go to school for 8 years. And then David Spade goes, yeah, they're called doctors.
That's a great line. So our friend Denise, who could not be here tonight,
that's a shame.
shared some thoughts with me. Just that I wanted to share before. She also did share her score with me, but she was saying that Tom Hanks is the most perfect human on the planet.
I don't know. Henry Winkler gives him a run for his money.
That's true. Basically, she said if Tom Hanks ever has a Me Too moment, she's going to give up on all humanity because
there are a few people. Tom Hanks is one, and Henry Winkler is another. Where every time you hear someone talk about them when they're not there, like someone comes on a talk show, they're plugging a movie that he happens to be in, but he's not there. Both the host and the guest are like, "Isn't he just the nicest person you've ever met?" I mean, can you imagine a nicer person than that?
Tom Hanks and the
Fonz. Yes, call him the Fonz.
Okay. Well, he
loves that.
I saw him in one movie. No, 2 movies. Okay, Waterboy and The Night Shift, I think.
Yeah.
But he's directed a lot too.
Well, he's in Barry now.
He's in Holes. Henry Winkler.
Oh, that's right. He did a great job in Barry. He did a really good job in Barry, I thought.
A friend of mine had a story. He was auditioning for Cop and a Half, I think Henry Winkler was the director of, and he went to audition for Henry Winkler, and he was supposed to, like, the character he was auditioning for was supposed to be talking to a kid, and Henry Winkler goes, I'm about to swear, everybody, just to put it out there. We don't have to edit. Henry Winkler, after he does the scene, goes, hey, you're too rough. You don't want to fucking kill the kid. You just want to, you're being kind of tough with him. And then he just looked at me and goes, holy shit, the Fonz just said fuck. And Henry Winkler goes, out. That ended his audition, but he got a great story out of it.
Wow.
The Fonz.
We just had I had to go into work today for quite a while. First time in quite a while, and people were warning before you came in that some of the roads right near my office were being closed because they're filming the League of Their Own series.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
No, there was a
After the movie.
We don't cry in baseball.
It's a sort of a reboot of the movie.
We don't cry in Wexford. That's a local.
But with Nick Offerman in it.
How about?
Well, Adam says rumor has that Tom Hanks is the one who got Henry Winkler fired as director of Turner and Hooch.
Interesting.
That's an interesting rumor.
Being fired as the director of Turner and Hooch is probably a positive thing to put on your resume.
I heard it was Hooch.
Yeah, the dog hated him.
Dog. The crying scene at the end was just way too over the top.
Now, if it had been Tina Turner and Hooch, that could have been interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, Hooch sniffed Henry Winkler's butt and said, "Nope, I smell shark."
Oh.
Wow.
He was great. He was great as Barry Zuckerberg in Arrested Development, also as their attorney.
Wait, the dog? I'm so
No, Henry Winkler.
He's in Arrested Development.
Huge part in Arrested Development.
This
He literally jumps over a shark. There's a shark laying on the ground, and he just goes and jumps over.
No.
Yeah,
good.
and there's a point where he goes to comb his hair, and he goes. There's one of those.
I love that.
He's turning into William Shatner as we speak.
Yeah, he's becoming an old Jewish guy that likes to make fun of himself.
Yes.
Well, Shatner's not that great at making fun of himself, actually.
No, like nobody will ever take the title.
Don't do it if there's a check involved.
Oh, yes. No, if
Yeah.
you write him a check, he'll do anything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The man's 90.
David
Give him a
Gibson
break.
that way.
So I'm going to pull it back. So the music of Forrest Gump.
Oh,
Great music.
The soundtrack went on for
Mhm.
top of the charts forever. Because it's like 2 CDs and yes, CDs.
But that was one of those films where I'm watching the list of songs at the end, and I only remember about half of them being in the film. There must have been some that were in for like half a second.
Yeah, I was listening for some and like, oh yeah, like there's just like a radio in the background.
Yeah.
Car drove by. It was on the radio.
Yeah.
There was stuff like that. Now I don't know how closely you watched the credits when they were rolling by you, because I know Dan on his 3-inch iPhone was paying very close attention.
6-inch iPhone. Thank you very much.
This would absolutely be a freaky fact if you caught this, and I'm assuming nobody caught this. Graphic designer on Forrest Gump, if you notice about halfway down the page, Eric Rosenberg.
Oh my gosh.
provided the graphic design.
There you go.
Wow.
EriDan did the graphic design.
Dan,
I was like,
you're
Stop! I gotta get a picture.
Yeah, I can't get screenshots on my phone of films because I just get black.
Yeah.
Yeah, rights management's crap. It's what it is.
On my computer, I can do it easily. It's
It's
crazy.
weird. Siobhan Fallon has been in small roles in multiple really big films.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know her, but you don't know why you know her.
From
And
Saturday
you
Night Live,
listen and
right?
go,
Wait, the bus driver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was Henry Winkler's wife in Holes.
Yeah.
she
Yep.
appears in
Back
these
to Henry
little
Winkler.
random parts. Just
Robin Wright was?
No.
No, Siobhan Fallon.
Siobhan Fallon, the bus driver.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I did not recognize Haley Joel Osment as the kid until he's getting on the bus and he turns and you see his face full on, and it's like, oh, that's Haley Joel Osment.
Right.
Wade goes, "Is that Haley Joel?" I said, "Yeah, we were talking about this."
I think that's his first movie.
Yeah, I think so.
He's
Did you see him
33
in the
now.
spoils? Did you see him in the Spoils of Babylon?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
No, but
No
we
one
saw
has
him in
heard of that.
Hand Lions.
No one has heard of that. Will Ferrell did it. It's like Thornbirds, but the comedy version of Thornbirds.
Oh my god!
Filmed in the same. It's this show that Will Ferrell does. His character's name is Hello, I'm Eric John Rush. And he's at a bar at a restaurant. He's like, give me some more wine, Trudy. There's like one waitress there, and he starts to talk about the spoils of Babylon. He's like, I filmed the spoils of Babylon in the summer of '77. At that point in time, I had slept with everyone in the cast. And then it goes from these wacky introductions to just the ridiculousness of the overacting and overwriting for the series is hilarious. But not many people have heard about it. Even a few people have seen it. But it's really funny. It was about about 9 years ago, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Missed that totally.
Me too.
The Spoils of Babylon.
So the writer whose name I've forgotten already.
Is it Eric Roth?
Eric Roth, thank you. Apparently did submit a script to Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks on September 10th, 2001. And they were supposed to get it. So it was obviously the day before 9/11. And it was, they were really prepared to consider doing it. And it had all these moments from the 90s in it. And then after 9/11, they're like, nah, this doesn't, we can't do this because we're hitting all these major moments of time. We're not gonna do a film that tries to encapsulate that, and so it got ditched and shelved. But one of the moments they were going to include was Forrest Gump was going to be in the back of OJ's Bronco.
Oh my gosh.
You need to pull over.
Remind me at the end to tell an OJ story that has to do with Richard Marx, and I have a Richard Marx thing that ties into Stacy.
Whoa.
Because I just listened to his audiobook, but it's not this is for what else we're watching or listening to.
Well, Dan, do you have some freaky facts?
I have some freaky facts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, so freaky.
So, first freaky fact, a line that we've already said once. My name is Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks ad-libbed that. That's not in the script. He threw it out while on the bus, and Robert Zemeckis thought it was so funny, he kept it in the movie. And the rest, as they say, is history. Kurt Russell was in the movie. Did you know that?
Yep.
He was Elvis Presley's voice.
Yes, again.
Was he?
Yep.
Yes, he was.
Show me that dance you're doing again, man.
Yeah, he's
So funny.
Had no idea.
Another freaky fact. I don't know if this is that freaky, but I mean, Robert Zemeckis has worked with Tom Hanks on a different movie. Can anybody know the other movie?
With the one where he's stranded on the island.
Castaway?
Castaway.
Castaway.
And he also the music from Back to the Future was by Alan Silvestri, and the music from this was by Alan Silvestri.
Correct.
So he likes to call people.
A lot of directors have sort of the repertoire that
They're the people they want to bring in
to work with.
Right.
But whatever happened to Bob Gale? He did Used Cars with him, and then he did Back to the Future. Did he do anything else with Robert Zemeckis? Are they friends still? What's going on?
Well, they were on the reunion. They were both on the reunion.
Yes, they both did.
Gosh, yeah. So they must.
They're
be
not sworn enemies or anything.
Yeah,
right.
Cashing checks.
There were John Travolta, Bill Murray, and Chevy Chase were three of the very high considerations for this
Chevy
part.
Chase?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh, man, would that have sucked?
Can you imagine?
I agree.
That would have killed it.
My parents love him.
I liked him when I was younger, but
Yeah.
then I couldn't stand him later on.
He was just so good at falling down like the steps and stuff. That was about it, you know.
Yeah.
There's certain people you outgrow. He's one of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect way to say it. You outgrow him.
You're like 12. But,
Yeah.
You know,
My opinion is personally, there are some excellent performances throughout this movie, but without Tom Hanks in that role, nothing else mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're looking at Bill Murray also?
No.
For this?
Yeah. And so they were having the movie was dead. They basically were like, this isn't going to happen. The budget was going away. And that's when Tom Hanks said, I'll drop my $7 million salary and take a piece of the action. And he made over $60 million.
There are a few actors I think that maybe could have done it, not as well as Hanks, but there are a few. You know, I think a Gary Oldman, if you were the right age, could have been able to do it.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken's pretty old.
Oh
too.
yeah, definitely.
You may not be a smart man, Jenny.
Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump.
You need more cowbell.
Jenny, you need cowbell.
No, I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. Jenny, bring it here. Come on now.
Life is right.
I'd pay to see that. I would pay to see a reenactment of that. If you want to read the whole script, that would be fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
I just felt like running.
That's fantastic.
Stupid is as stupid does.
And so I think we talked about this at the very beginning, or Eric and I talked about this before the show started. But there's the speech
earlier tonight. That was before the show started.
It was before the show. Okay,
Yeah,
so the speech that he's making on the mall, and he's talking. They were trying to come up with a really funny speech for him to say, and they actually went to Billy Crystal and Robin Williams and said, "Can you guys write a funny speech?" And they wrote some really funny stuff, and they just couldn't come up with anything. And the screenwriter couldn't come up with anything, and so they said, "Let's just cut the mic." But Tom Hanks says that what he actually said while that happened was, sometimes when people go to Vietnam, they come home to their mamas without any legs. Sometimes they don't come home at all. That's a bad thing. That's all I have to say about that.
That would have been all right.
I just see Christopher Walken making that speech.
It takes on a whole new magic. That's fantastic.
What about Gilbert Gottfried? No,
Yeah.
we could go all night.
Jackie Mason. Hey, you can have
Man.
Jackie Mason do it.
You guys are writing a Saturday Night Live skit from 1995.
No, Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison.
This is so 1995 Saturday Night Live. Forrest Gump audition, take one.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
Burt Reynolds as Forrest Gump.
No, Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds as Forrest Gump.
Hey
And I know would love it.
there, Jenny.
Yeah.
You know, I just that's no what my whole point was. I think a lot of I said I'm not taking away anything from the other performances, but I think you could swap out almost any of the other actors in this movie, and it still would stand fine.
Bubba was pretty good.
Bubba would be pretty hard to find, but
I think Sally Field would be surprisingly hard to replace.
I do too.
Yeah.
Sally Field was really good. I mean, I think there was just from
There are a few actresses that could have done it, but she was really good.
She's not a nice person.
Let's not forget Sally Field and Tom Hanks with another blockbuster film.
Punchline.
Punchline, the only
That's
place,
right.
and that's in the only universe where comedy clubs have a locker room.
Yeah.
I've gone to every comedy club in the country. I can't find a locker room. I'm like, I'm not performing here. You don't have a locker room.
Where is your locker room?
Although the Laugh Factory does have lockers by the men's room that are just there, I think, as a joke. Or they might be the ones from the actual movie. I'm not sure. I never asked.
That's funny.
That was a good movie.
Any other freaky facts?
I think I did 5.
I think sure you did. I can't count. I think
And the kid who played young Forrest.
Here's a good question.
He
Sorry.
really not his
Adam,
son, but the kid who played Tom Hanks, the young man.
Adam,
Go ahead.
you misunderstood what I said. Punchline, I rented at Blockbuster.
There
It was a Blockbuster. It was at Blockbuster.
it was at Blockbuster. Okay, that,
He made $100.
Here's the name. I mean, Barry Sobel, who was in Punchline, is a good friend of my friend Bert's. They hang out all the time. You know Bert, Sam.
Bert
And when
Ernie?
I go down to LA, by the way, Sam, I'm coming to LA in August. I'll have to see you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Barry will be at the Tuesday night at the Kibitz Room when we do some stand up. You should come down that Tuesday night on the 17th of August. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
At Cantor's Deli. So Barry Sobel played the part of the star that everybody wanted to be like. And like he emceed like the big showcase show. And he was actually the offset or the onset coach for Tom Hanks.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're still friends too.
Cool.
I'm like 2 degrees from Tom Hanks. How about that? And I'm only half a degree to Jim Hanks, apparently, according to Bobby.
I auditioned for Tom Hanks. My very first audition, I got a call back, and I got to actually read lines with him.
Did you call him a Fonz and
I
kick you
did
out?
not get the part. I did not get the part.
still, you got to read lines with that. I'll give you
Yeah,
one.
this was just after he won his second Oscar. Just won his second Oscar. And I thought I was going to be reading lines with the casting director. And so I spit out my lines, expecting to hear her read back to me. And all of a sudden, I hear to my right, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, holy shit. And I just read lines with Tom Hanks.
Oh, that gets the one.
This name drop is sponsored in part by Celebrity Crotch Scented Candles. Get one for your room for a night that goes boom. Now available in Kevin James scent.
I don't know why the picture of Kevin James is so funny.
Well, it's because the shirt is buttoned down so far. That's what really does.
Yeah.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it.
Gotta go.
All right. I think, should we rate it?
Are we going to rate it? I think we're
35 minutes in. That's about when that's about
It's
rating time.
The EriDan rating bot 6000. EriDan rating 6000. EriDan now activated.
Are there 2 R's in Back to the Future?
There's
Yeah, I just saw that.
It's like the computer, the rating bot has been having some issues lately.
It's glitching. It's glitching. Okay.
It's a little glitchy. Howard the Duck, I think, has like a missing U or something. I have no idea what's going on.
Howard the Fluck.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Howard the Fluck. Yeah.
All right, so let me pull up our ranking so you know what we're looking at tonight. I'm going to show the second card first. These are our lowest ranked movies. The This is 40 all the way through Howard Duck. I have a small feeling we might be watching Somewhere in Time slip to the second card tonight.
Ooh,
On the ratings.
If Sam was on that night, Somewhere in Time would have been way higher.
Well, Sam, you got to.
Sam, what do you give? What do you give Somewhere in Time?
What do I give it?
Yeah, 1 to 100. What would you give it?
Oh God. Well, I'm a romantic. I'd have to give it a 97.
See,
I'm a romantic too, but that doesn't make
I
it a
have
good
to
movie.
leave.
You said, wait a minute. Hold on. 1 to 100 to me. 1 being the best and 100 being
no
the
100 being the best.
Yeah, 97. Yeah.
Wow.
See, it's a great movie.
It's time travel and romance. And
It's
then-
not time travel. It's a guy dressing up and sleeping.
What?
Okay, that's
It's not
just as
time travel,
realistic
it's a guy
as
dressing
going
up and
88.
falling asleep on his bed.
But that's just realistic as a guy going 88 miles an hour in a DeLorean.
Yeah, you could do it.
I've
You
done
could
both
do
of
it.
them.
If you're back in time, why not?
I've done both of those things and never traveled back in time.
That you know of.
You
All right. Well, Adam's in the comments.
didn't have a flux capacity.
Adam wants to give his rating first because this was Adam's movie. He
Okay.
put on. We've never made Adam go first, but this was the movie. He put this on the wheel, which I think we were all very, pleased
Oh,
with.
good with it.
But yeah, so Adam, if you want to throw out your number, I'd be really curious to see where you're going to start. Adam gives his score very last, and so I'm sort of curious. I don't want to share. Dan, do you know if your mother watched Forrest Gump this week?
Oh yeah, she watched it.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was
So
on AMC, I believe, because that's where I watched it on the YouTube TV. And it was weird because it was commercial free, but it kept breaking for commercials.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, and then when the credits rolled, that's why I didn't see Eric Rosenberg. The credits are like, how they do on TV sometimes? It was like, I'm like, wow.
Oh well, here comes your mom. Let's
Look at that.
I know there's a delay, so go ahead and give your mom's score, which actually is equivalent to Denise's score.
Wow.
Denise give it a 98.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of love. This could put Back to the Future in trouble.
Oh no.
Dan's like, I give it a 10.
Back to the Future on top.
Back to the Future is our number one movie as of right now.
Yes,
Okay.
Back to the Future is number one.
The only thing I didn't like about Somewhere in Time was Christopher Reeve's acting.
See, that's what I said. He's the
Exactly.
worst actor in the movie.
There was a couple of moments I was like,
Well, that and the writing and the directing, yeah.
oh,
Other than that,
And the filmography.
Other than that, it was
it's a
no
great
problem.
movie.
Wow.
Other than that, it's just his
Wow.
acting wasn't that good.
holy crap, Adam.
Wow, look at this. I love the movie. Makes me cry every time. Only complaint is the way it
Yeah.
ended.
Yeah.
Seems like they wrapped it up in a hurry. It does come to an abrupt,
But
but
I think it's an appropriate.
satisfying. Yes,
What do you-
satisfying.
What are you
Yeah.
going to do?
But they predicted COVID. I mean, she
He
died of
brings out
COVID,
a
right?
penny from the coat. It's perfect. Was
Did she
back
die
in
of
time.
COVID? Nothing.
I think it was. All right. Dan, do you want to start the round robin here or no?
No, I think we should start with Sam.
We'll start with
He's been on
Sam.
it forever.
Sure. Sam, do you want to give this number a movie number, something? Give this film a,
Rate the movie, Sam. 1 to 100.
rate the movie. 1 to 100.
What movie are we talking about?
Forrest Gump.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
Somewhere in Gump.
Is there a category, or am I just rating it? Just
1
rating
to
it?
100.
Just your enjoyment. Your the Sam scale. Rate this on the Sam scale. So if you decide the directing makes you enjoy it less, you can take a point away or whatever.
Let's
That's
say
up
a
to you.
90. Let's say a 90. 96.
96. There we
Well,
go.
we're dropping one each
Wow.
time.
All right. Let's hear from the writers. You guys pick who wants to go first.
Well, we'll go in order there, the way we're looking at them. So
Okay.
Reagan.
Don't let them decide. All right, Reagan.
Well, they can decide. I just thought we're
Yep,
going
fine.
clockwise.
Well, I'll pull it back to the 98 because I don't know. I was really surprised. We were going to put it on, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch this. Like, I was like, because I knew that it was really long. I just was not feeling it, but it was really, really good. Like, it was like, there was nothing that made me bored. There was no point in it that I was bored of watching it. It was really funny the whole time, whether it was just the writing or if it was on purpose. Like, the editing was pretty funny sometimes. And good in general. Like, there was just a lot of stuff that I thought was really good. And I really enjoyed, like, as a Christian, there are movies now that, like, they make fun of that or just totally the opposite of that. And that's okay. Like, not every single movie has to be about anything to do with that. But I just really liked that wasn't overwhelming in the movie, but it was there. And it was like a little bit of a baseline. So I enjoyed that for like personal reasons. But I don't know. I just really like Forrest's character. I really liked that he either touched everybody that he met in different ways, whether they wanted to be or not, like Lieutenant Dan. But I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I really liked it. There wasn't really much to complain about. I mean, some parts about Jenny made me uncomfortable, but I definitely think that it made sense for her character. So I didn't have a problem with that. I don't know. It was just really real, even though it was a little far-fetched with him playing football for Alabama and all that other stuff, you know. But
just because you can run doesn't mean you can run.
I love the guy in the end zone running over and handing him the ball and saying, "Run, Forrest."
Yeah. He goes, "Okay," and he runs away. No, yeah. I mean, it just, but I liked it at the same time because it just felt like the guy who wrote it grew up as all that stuff was happening. And so it was just like, hey, what if this guy was just included in all of this, you know? So I just thought, I don't know. I just really liked it for a lot of different reasons. And yeah, definitely 98.
Awesome. Stacy.
Well, my number when we were watching it yesterday was 97. And it's just because nothing's perfect, but this was pretty close. And watching it and being able to see what I didn't see before, like the lips moving, kind of like those really bad cartoons where they'll do it. I'm like, oh, I never noticed that before. And there was a point when they were on the dock. I think it was Lieutenant Dan and Forrest, and I could see Tom Hanks acting goofy instead of like Forrest. And I thought this must have been filmed first. And I thought, well, I kind of don't like that. But you know, other than that, it was.
I got
good.
that too.
Did you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Like at one
it looked
point,
like he kind of phoned it in that day or something.
Yeah. It was
Maybe
only
a pickup
for a
shot
brief
like 6
moment.
months later or something.
Right.
Could be one of those.
So, and I looked up the lady who sat on the bench with him, the little old lady, because I'm like, I know her. She's been in stuff. 4 Things. Never saw anything but Forrest Gump with her in it. She's just some random lady, but I felt like I knew her. So, I don't know.
The one that he shows the Fortune magazine too?
The black older woman?
No, the little old lady.
Yeah,
towards the end of the movie.
When he pulls out the copy of Fortune magazine with
yeah.
And when he says, "I'm waiting for the number 9 to take me to this," she goes, "That's like 5 blocks that way."
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I love watching him run.
It's just like he ran too.
He was the best. So funny.
He doesn't run like Tom Selleck, does he?
No.
You're Tom Selleck.
Like Tom Cruise. That's how much that impressed me.
David Hasselhoff on the beach.
Hasselhoff.
What was your final number, Stace?
97.
97. Very nice. Wow. All right, Wade.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I liked it again. I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time.
Probably 20 years.
And yeah, it was still good. So
Yeah.
And plus it had a lot of helicopters in it, so that's always good for a few extra points for me there. So
Exactly, Sam. Exactly.
let's go like a 996 too.
Nice.
A lot of barbecue too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp. I like shrimp too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, we're not related. Sorry.
No.
He goes, okay.
so I don't want people to think I'm giving it a low score because of Back to the Future, because I'm not. I gave Back to the Future a 99. That's what I give Back to the Future, and that's what I think Back to the Future is. I think I gave Somewhere in Time like a 95 or 96 because I know you think I'm crazy. I don't care. It's one of my favorite movies. Hoosiers, one of my favorite movies.
It's okay.
I love this movie.
You gave Somewhere Time a 94.
Oh, I gave it a 94.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you told me that affects me now because
Now
would I watch Somewhere in Time over this? Yes, I would. But I think this is a great movie. And
20.
I only gave it a 94. Boy, you guys must have really bullied me that night.
People were rough. People were ripping this part, you know.
Well, there's a reason that's nearly on the second page. So
Yeah.
Because
Your
Sam
mom-
wasn't here that night. If Sam was here that night.
Yeah, your mom gave it a 98.
I know. So the Rosenbergs, it's a high 90 movie Somewhere in Time. And with Sam, I mean, we would have.
I loved it.
Your heart.
The only thing his acting at some of the points in the film was just
Which
like
made the movie.
It's a 98. The lead actor was terrible, but it's a 98.
when he says, "Please, you have no idea how far I've come to be with you." And I'm like,
Now, Christopher Walken had the Christopher Reeves role.
If it makes you feel better, Dan, if Sam had been with us that night, it would have bumped it up to a 62. So
it would be above Spies Like Us.
It would have been above Spies Like Us.
If Sam had been with us.
All right, I'm going off to the side.
Nobody's even heard about that movie. Just time travel freaks have,
All right, so
but Forrest Gump, importantly.
Forrest Gump is a classic movie. It is Robert Zemeckis, just like Back to the Future.
True.
It is Alan Silvestri, just like Back to the Future. It is. I don't think it was a Universal production. I think it was Paramount.
It was.
And I know this is going to knock, because I know the two of you are going to give it a high score. I know this is going to knock it off, but it's a 97.
Whoa!
Wow, this is. I can't. I'm not going to score a movie just to affect Back to the Future.
No.
It doesn't matter.
No, ultimately, I can't believe I'm going to give the lowest score for Forrest Gump.
Oh shit! I should let you go first.
And I love this movie. But again, for me, I have no problems with this movie except maybe the length, right? Where it's like it keeps me from wanting to return to it because it is a commitment. And there are parts of it like they're in Vietnam. Oh my gosh, there's still an hour and 45 minutes left.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh my god! But I mean, it's brilliant in every way.
I like AI.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Goes on forever.
The Irishman.
But one of the takeaways, and this sort of goes off of what Reagan was saying as well, if they were to make this movie now, it would be a hard R, right? Like the dark parts would be so much darker. Vietnam would be so much darker.
No, it depends on the director. I don't think Zemeckis, if you were making it now, would make it darker.
I think if you were going to make a successful movie now for this generation, it would be a lot darker. There'd be nudity.
You would have seen Jane's Bobays.
You'd get a lot into the drug scene. I mean, think about the Doors movie. Think about
I mean, the Coen brothers are still making great movies that don't have that in it. You can still do it. And
they're remaking this movie is what Eric said.
But people my age don't care about that stuff. They care about literally sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like that's it. That's all that they want.
And I think it would be easy to go into that. I'm not saying
that was true in the 90s too. I mean, the phrase sex, drugs, and rock and roll didn't originate in the last 10 years.
It's different.
I won't fight that point, but I will say what I love about this movie is they didn't do that. And and it still takes a look at the dramatic and the humorous side without doing that. So my opinion is it would be, let's just say maybe they wouldn't have to do it now, but I think it would be easy for them to do that now.
Yes.
A movie that looks back at Vietnam and be light about Vietnam, you don't get a lot of those, right? Yeah. And so I feel this is unique because of that. And so I enjoy that about this movie. So I gave it a 95.
I don't disagree with you. There would be pressure to make it that kind of movie.
Absolutely.
That I don't disagree with at all.
Yes.
The fact that it couldn't be made the way it was, I disagree because it depends on who owns the rights. And if James Cameron came along and wanted to make that kind of movie, he would make that kind of movie.
True.
And I don't think he would care.
But if Michael Bay made Forrest Gump, how much better would that?
Michael Bay's a crap director, so
the Coen brothers could maybe do a good version of it. But who would play Tom Hanks? I'm sorry, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump is
Christopher Walken would play grandfather Gump.
Where's my watch?
All right, Dave.
So what was your score, Eric?
95.
95.
I gave the lowest score, but by like 1 point.
No, I really I really like this movie. I mean, one of the things I have to say about it is there's no bad casting, which that's hard to say about a lot of movies. Even the actor who played Forrest as a little boy, not Haley Joel Osment, but Forrest as a little boy, he wasn't a great actor, but he was good. And one thing I will say is you looked at him and said, he could grow up to be Tom Hanks. The look was right, and that's hard to do. Yeah. One of the reasons that Solo was such a bad movie is you never believed that actor could become Harrison Ford.
Yep.
I love Solo. Sorry, I got
Solo sucks, but anyway.
But no, he could not grow up to be Harrison Ford.
But anyway, and there were some other things that I really liked about it. little things, like Eric was saying, some little humor and things. One of the ones I thought was just so dumb, but it made me laugh out loud, was early on when the bus is going by, and there's an ad on the side of the bus, Citation, it works. The Chevy Citation was one of the most god-awful cars ever made.
Stacy's like, I had one.
My sister, I think I did. Did we have
the Celebrity was
dad
worse,
had
but the
one.
Citation was bad.
I had a Celebrity. Dad had the Citation.
Right.
I rented a
This is how to do it
Celebrity
century.
once, a rental car, and I opened the trunk, and I could flex the trunk like this.
Well, you're very
the sheet
strong.
metal was so paper thin.
You're so strong.
What about the Pontiac Aztec?
Well, yeah, that's a
That's for my
can't disagree
Saturday
with
show.
that.
You can camp in those, man. Come on.
And small
Yeah, you
roles
can cook
like
meth.
the doctor that treated Forrest. He only appeared in the 2 scenes basically, but he could have been such a cliche or a caricature, and he wasn't. He was just a good country doctor doing his best for his patients, and I loved that.
He wasn't over the top.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was really nice.
thought at some point his mom wouldn't be able to pay the bill.
You had to go back there, didn't you, Dan?
That's his favorite impression. Dan's
Here's my
gonna
impression of Forrest Gump.
That's his stand-up act he's doing in August. Is he just
yes, see Dan live in person doing his Forrest Gump hopping impersonation.
Forrest Gump, the child actor, not Tom Hanks.
So
You know, have you read the book?
I used to own it, and I never read it because I saw the movie.
You want me to tell you the ending of the book or no?
No, we have to read it. We're going to start a
It's
book club.
Very
Local
different.
library, get
It's very different from the movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Very different from the
And Dave's score.
He's still
And,
at
well,
like
I
a
was just saying,
85.
finally, I was just going to say that Jenny's character, I can see why people would be mad at her character or dislike her character
Right.
or find her character hard to accept. But when you see her background and you realize how damaged she was
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
why she was so damaged and why she was the way she was, it worked.
Yes.
And it
She
didn't make it
never let
easy to
him on.
watch, but it worked.
But she
And
never let him on, though.
No.
the
She
small
was who
thing,
she
like
was.
Yeah.
after she dies, Forrest bulldozing her dad's house, I can see that, and that really worked for me. And that's all I have to say about that. So I'm giving it a 95.
95. All right, me and Dave with the 95. All right, excellent. Well, it is a
All those
monumental
compliments,
night.
you got a 95?
What's that?
You said all those compliments, you gave it a 95?
Well, I liked it. I mean, it was not a perfect movie. I can
95.
point out. I don't want to sit here and nitpick for 5 points. That doesn't really accomplish anything.
Sam,
But
you got to
that's
get.
what
Normally, our
relates for me.
movies get 60s and 70s. You don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
every
okay.
single person tonight gave a 90 or a 95 or above. That's unheard of.
Yes.
Even Back to the Future, I think we might have had some 80s.
Yeah, Eric, what was the lowest score for Back to the Future?
Hold on, let me pull up the
Well, the
data.
EriDan 7000 database.
Pull up the analytics.
It's running about as well. Hold on. All
That's gonna
right.
beat it.
Oh, it's definitely beat it. All right, so you want to know what the lowest score for Back to the Future?
Yeah,
was?
just curious. Yeah.
Question here. Let's see.
Probably Adam.
think-
Thanks, Adam.
Now, Back to the Future. Now, what's interesting is when we did Back to the Future, there was only 5 of us rating the movie, right?
Right.
So it was me and Dan, obviously Dave, Adam, and Amanda, Dave, one of Dave's daughters. And the lowest score Back to the Future got was an 88.
Okay.
Wow.
There was only, no, I think that's right. Let me make sure there's not a hidden. Nope, it was just the 5 of us.
Where's my mom? That was my birthday show, wasn't it?
It was, and your mom ditched.
Thanks, Mom.
I love Back to the Future, but I think I didn't like it as much after I actually got to drive a DeLorean. I think some of the,
I owned one for 6
some of
years,
the
Sam.
magic out.
I
Like
I
the no
maybe love
power
the movie more.
steering and no air conditioner.
It just shows
Yeah.
I had air
Zemeckis.
conditioning.
It did?
Mine did.
Oh, Sam. You
Well, I
lied.
didn't. No, it was my roommate Jim's. Maybe he didn't have it or it was broken or something.
It's
But I
probably
remember
broken.
really hard to steer. That part I remember distinctly.
Yes, it did not have power steering.
Zemeckis has a way of making films that appeal to a very broad audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a film school named after him down at USC.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was his?
Yeah.
Romancing the Stone.
Yeah, Romancing the Stone. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that again.
Flight.
I'm not going to mention all of them because some of them aren't that great.
Death Becomes Her.
I
The
love
Polar
Flight.
Express.
Flight was
I
great.
Want to Hold Your Hand.
That's
Was
very
Death
popular
Becomes
in my
Her-
house.
Contact.
Attack was great. That was a Zemeckis film, yeah.
Well, he didn't do Howard the Duck, did he?
Was that with
Was that the Meryl Streep one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Life Becomes Her is
yeah.
Where did it go?
Isabella Rossellini, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis.
Every now and again you see her in something like after 20 years. Like, oh, that's Isabella Rossellini.
Well, there is going to be lots of celebrating tonight in the Zemeckis household because now he owns the top 2 spots. Forrest Gump comes in at number 1, pushing someone.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
He's putting his Oscar in the closet. He has the EriDan Award now.
That's right. Exactly. Look at that.
Wow.
Be more proud. So Somewhere in Time moves its way onto page 2.
It's a dark night for me. My number one movie moves to number 2.
I wish I was here that night.
Well, we can. We
I wish I could go somewhere back
It
in
would just be a
time.
matter of time till it gets bumped to the second page.
Why don't you just, Sam, why don't you just lay down in bed and pretend like it's March of 2021? Make sure nothing around you is newer than March of 2021.
Sam, oh my God, Sam's here. Sam, tonight we're doing. So glad you're here. We're doing Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in time.
Hey Sam, is that a penny in your pocket?
It is a penny in my pocket, but don't try to trick me with your tricks.
Does your penny have a month on it?
Yeah.
Very specific.
Richard.
Oh man.
She became so British when she's screaming.
Oh my God, I remember that. It was like my wrists cut here. Here we go.
That was some schmucks.
Oh,
I could play that scene right now. You want to see some Sam and Dan acting?
Oh no.
I won't. I might. I won't.
You can work on that while we
before we pick the next movie. I just want to say this because I'm going to totally forget.
All right.
So I listened to Richard Marx's autobiography in the past couple of days on Audible, and I finally found out why he was in the Beaver Valley Mall. His mom is from East Liverpool, Ohio.
Oh.
And I tweeted that today, and he liked my tweet.
Oh.
Is this Richard Marx, the singer?
Yeah, the singer.
That is.
When I was working at the mall, like in 1989, he just walked through with his parents and his wife, and we're like, "Why is Richard Marx at Beaver Valley Mall?" And he's not. There's no show. There's no nothing. And then I was listening to the audiobook, and it opens with his mom was born in East Liverpool, Ohio, in this small town, and she wanted to become a singer, so she took lessons from Dick Marx, which is what a name, Dick Marx. And she moved to Chicago. She's a little girl in a big city. And Dick Marx was married and had 3 kids. And then after they became friends. And after they got divorced, they started dating, and they had 1 kid named Richard Marx.
Named Debbie Gibson.
Oh my God!
Wow! And it took a turn. Nobody saw that coming.
Wow! Eric Rosenberg.
Wow! I didn't know. Something like that. This reference to Debbie Gibson was brought to you in part by all new Flucker Noodles, the perfect snack for when mom and dad just won't listen.
They're fucking delicious.
All right, are we going to talk about what we're going to watch next?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Here it comes. Slowly but surely, it is the Wheel of Reels. So now for the past 4 weeks, we've been stuck on Why So Serious.
Why don't we take it off?
Before that.
No, I think we do it. I randomized the wheel to see if maybe we'll get a different result.
I mean, Stacy chose 2 serious movies, but that was a viewer's choice.
Well, that was viewer's choice, but that was also the double feature, which is why we didn't spin the wheel then. So let's see what we get. Let's see where we're going to end up this week. And there we go.
Yeah.
Wheel shuffle, man. So now we're gonna. We haven't looked at the comedy wheel in quite some time.
Cover your eyes.
There's a lot. There's a lot coming here. So let's.
Whoa!
Wow! Looks like a hypnotic thing, right?
If you stare at it and let your eye blur,
Yeah.
It's a dinosaur.
There's really not that many on there.
I see Waldo.
there's a lot of duplicates on here.
Yeah.
So,
Why is that?
and again, I'm not gonna read the movies because at this point, if you name a movie that's already on, it'll just duplicate a spot that's already on the wheel. And so if everybody gets a chance to add one movie to the wheel tonight before we spin. And yeah, obviously there's a couple that have multiple votes. There's like 6 spots for The Princess Bride. There's Rat Race is on there 5 times. Police Academy's on there 5 times. Yeah. So anybody
who is on there 4 times.
Actually, 6 police academies.
Oh my God.
That's a lot. That's a lot of police academies. So you just never know. But everybody gets an opportunity to throw out a movie we'll add to the wheel. It can be something that's already on, or it can be something new.
Who goes first?
My mind is Dr. Strangelove, but I don't know if that would be considered totally.
It's a black comedy, but it's a comedy of sorts.
Yeah.
Is that your movie, Wade?
Yeah.
Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Yeah.
All right. Any of the other writers know what they want
I have a couple, but I want to pick.
to. You want to know it's yours to. Well, you can.
No. Like I just can't decide between them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There's a lot because I want Mean Girls, but I don't know if I want that to be in one of the ones that But I really like Mean Girls.
Well, pick it.
Yeah, okay, we'll go Mean Girls then. That's a
There
good
you
one.
go.
It was that or White Chicks, so.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh, I prefer Mean Girls to White Chicks.
Mean White Chicks is a horrible movie.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's so good though.
Stacy, the other thing was that Richard Marx's video Hazard stars Robert Conrad from Wild Wild West.
Oh yeah,
He plays the sheriff.
Or Baba Black Sheep, you mean?
I talked to him.
Yes, you did.
Did you really?
On the phone.
Name drop. Didn't have them on.
If you only talk to him on the phone, you just get an audio version.
Wait, I do have a name drop. I was on Splash Mountain whenever I was 10. And Disney World, and it was Christmas time whenever they filmed the Christmas special, and this guy was talking to me and my sister the whole time we were on the ride behind us. I had no idea who he was, right? And he asked eventually, we're like, oh, you know who I am? And we didn't, and that was the end of that. And we got off the ride, we went home, end of Disney World, you know? So it's Christmas morning, and they do that Disney special for Christmas.
It was Santa Claus.
And he's up on the TV, and my sister goes, hey, we sat with that guy. It's Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, geez.
And I didn't know who he was.
That's awesome. This name drop is sponsored in part by
Your Next Nightmare. Good luck sleeping now.
What was that? What a friend of yours?
Then to make it even better is I'm watching the parade, and then there's her dad standing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can see my dad.
He's just walking, looking there.
We were buying hats.
Yeah.
They were all in.
We realized the whole theme of Forrest Gump was ripped off from Rich Hall doing his little inserts behind the Pope. And he used to do one of his running gags was he'd have the pictures of him inserted in old pictures.
Oh.
Hilarious. I forgot about Rich Hall.
Schnigglich. Stacy, do you have a movie, or did you already say one?
I don't have a movie. I can't think of anything that's funny right now. So.
Wow.
Well, you could duplicate a vote from your husband or your daughter.
Well, I have one on there from a year ago.
But yeah, we all do.
Yeah. So you can add another one for Notting Hill.
There you go.
Notting Hill.
That wasn't a year ago.
Yeah.
Last year.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you were here. You moved here.
We've been doing this a long time.
Did you? Okay, I see. Never mind. I'm good.
Wait.
We got Notting Hill. And so now we need to go to Sam.
No, wait.
No, he gave Dr. Strangelove.
Oh, you gave Dr. Strangelove.
No, I didn't give Dr. Strangelove.
No, Wade did.
Wade did.
Oh, okay.
All right, Sam, we're ready for you.
Dan already knows who I'm going to pick, but of course, Anchorman.
Huh. I thought you since you brought it up earlier, you were going to put Dumb and Dumber on there.
No, I wrote Anchorman earlier, but it didn't take.
All right.
See your doctor if your Anchorman doesn't take.
I'm torn between
Anchorman's great.
Part of me wants to keep the chain going by putting the Princess Bride on again and trying to keep the Robin Wright thing going. But I'm going to put on Stranger Than Fiction. Put it on again, I should say.
All right, I already added mine. It was another vote for Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So,
Adam puts another Police Academy.
All right, and yet another Police Academy.
Oh my God!
And I'm going to put it. Here it goes.
It's gonna be the
put
last
in
one.
another Rat Race. We're going to get this one off the wheel.
All right.
Maybe the last two.
Here we go. All right, I think that's everybody that's in the. Do we get everybody in the comments? Are we good here?
No one else has
Is that a
commented.
spin-off if it's a mad world?
We did that already.
We did that one. You missed that.
That was pretty funny.
That
Funny the remake is on.
that ended up in the first column. All right, I think we're ready to spin. Hold your ears. This might be unpleasant. Oh my goodness!
Finally.
How about that? So we finally get to watch Rat Race. What year was Rat Race, Dan? Do you have any idea?
Probably 93,
2002,
95,
something like that.
2002. I don't know.
Who's in that?
John Lovitz.
Rowan Atkinson.
Oh,
Seth-
Rowan
Mr. Bean.
Atkinson.
Seth Green, right?
2001.
Seth Green.
I was close. 2001.
It was one of the. There's a scene that I laughed so hard. I've only seen it twice, and I laughed hysterically hard, like tears rolling down my eyes. And I don't laugh like that. So hopefully it's that good.
That took 6 spots off the wheel.
Thank
See,
God.
good. It worked.
I should have picked another movie. Darn! I just thought of a really good movie.
Well, we can do it next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just out of curiosity, you can say what the movie is. That's
Yeah,
not
we can say what it was.
Oh, what's up, Doc?
We
already
already
did
did
that
that.
already.
I put it on the wheel when we did it already.
One too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That was a
I do
really
too.
good. Yeah.
Funny movie.
Pretty well. That did pretty well, didn't it? As I recall.
It was Ryan O'Neal.
I believe. Yeah, there it is.
And Madeline Kahn. Don't forget Madeline.
Look at that. It's right next to It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. They're both
Yes,
ended
it
up
is.
on 84. Actually, they're tied with a score of 84.
And also tied with Young Frankenstein.
That is also correct.
Because Madeline Kahn.
Sam,
What?
are you ready?
We're going to
No.
watch Dinner for
It's only a
Schmucks.
minute. It's only a minute 25, Sam. This is the super fast version. Previously on Schmuck.
You're my hero. I should be.
Bert.
How much you pay for that thing?
Oh God! Look how skinny I was.
That would be steak knives laying on the ground.
Sam, where's the TV guide? There was a show I wanted to watch about the history of the melanoma.
Hey, Sam, I hope you don't mind, but we ran out of toilet paper. How do you use your resumes?
They're not very absorbent, are they?
Actually, they're not bad. You just kind of have to roll them up in a ball.
Here we go.
Richard!
Dizzy. I'm getting dizzy. So.
Next time
Oh,
on
no.
Schmucks.
I should be the spokesman for the dough industry.
I think I feel a lump.
I had a dream about death last night.
And that was it.
Hero? Who's
Yeah,
Haircut
British
Hero?
TV.
Yeah.
Haircut Hero? I don't even know. What that was it.
It was the last credit. There were 4 credits listed. Who's
I have
Haircut
British
Hero?
TV.
Yeah, there is a 4.
Wait a minute. Let me bring it back a little bit. Hold on a second.
It's really fast.
Sam, where's
Yeah,
the
'cause-
TV guide? There was a
Well,
show
it
I
was
wanted to
Bert.
watch about the history of the melanoma.
Hey, Sam, I hope you don't mind, but we ran out of toilet paper. How do you use your resumes?
They're not very absorbent, are they?
Actually, they're not bad. You just kind of have to roll them up in a ball.
Wait, how am I doing? Wait, I'm confused because I'm
Here we
seeing
go.
Richard. Oh, I'm actually. I'm streaming the actual show.
Dizzy.
Yeah, man.
So.
How am I doing? That's so crazy. It went to the live stream. Oh, because I was playing that on YouTube. So now we see ourselves.
We're in the Matrix.
Really, there is a glitch in the Matrix.
There is a
Can we
glitch.
get out of this time loop, though? That's the question.
I don't know. We might not be able to.
Oh,
Now
no.
we're going to go one more level deep.
It actually will now, won't it?
There it is.
Oh, Bert Toplitsky was the hair club hero.
Toplitsky. Yeah, Bert was in it.
All right, he was the hair club hero. He's wearing the really bad toupee.
Oh, at the very beginning. That's right.
And that was it.
Hero?
All right, now if I go here,
Show a clip. Show the one where I'm a Russian hooker.
Who's the
British
hero?
TV.
Yeah.
You show that one.
haircut hero. I don't even know.
You want
There we go.
to- yeah,
It was the last
Ray
credit. There were
has
4
a-
credits listed. Whose haircut?
Man.
You
Thank
want my
God.
best thespian.
Scary.
Hold on, let me get rid of that. There we
That
go.
was frightening.
So yeah, if you want to see all of them, there's 6 of them on danrosenberg.com. Just click on the schmucks under danrosenberg.com. You can watch 6 of
Like
them.
full episode?
No, they're all previously on and next time on. I didn't do.
Okay.
I unedited all of them, so they're just little clips.
How much would you pay for the?
We do a full episode.
He said.
Do you have what director's commentary?
Yeah, we have the Zack Snyder cut too, which is 17 hours long, black and white, and 4x3.
Let
And
me
lots of
say,
slow motion. Yeah.
Tonight they had I noticed his name in one of the previews and I went, oh my God, I do not want to see that movie.
The Suicide Squad movie.
Oh,
It looked terrible. Everything looked terrible. All the previews, everything looked terrible.
There are
only-
helicopters in it, so
The
I might
reviews
watch
like
it.
Margot Robbie, as I recall, but the rest of it got pretty trashed.
Looks bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movies. It seems like today the movies are replacing dialogue and
Yes.
conversation with explosions.
Yes.
It's all
It depends on the director.
And helicopters.
true, but it's all the thing. Everything's on like TV now. It's like streaming services, only television, and even that's dark. But like, it's just so interesting the way that my generation specifically views entertainment. It just makes me really sad because there's so much stuff that's actually good that they don't see because they're like, oh, I'm watching this awful TV show. It's all about rape and horror and stuff.
Yep, that's true.
Makes me
I
so
totally
sad.
agree.
well, speaking of that kind of entertainment, let's talk about what else what else people have been watching. What other trash?
I did watch. Okay, I did watch Tomorrow War.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty bad.
Well, don't we have an
Kinda
intro for
fell
this
apart.
segment?
do you really? I was gonna let it go, but all right, we'll do this. So here we go.
I jumped the segment. I'm so sorry.
That's right out of Tomorrow War. So tell us your thoughts on Tomorrow War because I've seen it. I have some opinions.
Yeah.
Has everybody seen it?
No, but I don't care.
Okay. Well, there's a time when he's got his daughter and he's holding on to her hand, the adult daughter. And he's like, I'll come back for you. I have this serum. I'm like, why would you go back for her when you
I
can
know.
go back in time and stop this from happening? Why are you creating drama where there doesn't need to be drama?
There is any time travel movie has that type of problem.
Yeah.
No, but it's just, why would you? There's no point to say, I'll be back.
No, you won't.
No, you won't be back. You're going to go
That's
back.
what I thought too.
What's happening?
Yeah.
That drove me nuts. That absolutely just drove, and I love Chris Pratt, but it just drove me nuts.
I'm just glad there was none of that. Not where are we? When are we? I hate that's in almost every
hate
time
it.
travel
It's
movie.
so cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
What
I
is
thought
your
about
vote
it
for-
too.
Since you're such a connoisseur, Dan, what is your vote for worst time travel movie? Not some low budget nothing, but actually a big budget time travel movie.
Horseshack.
Buckaroo Banzai. Does that qualify? as a time travel?
I love Buckaroo Banzai.
Does that qualify as a time travel movie?
No, because there's no time travel in it.
Oh,
Other than that,
well, never mind.
It was
Are there
dimension.
shoelaces in that?
I mean, you know,
You got Jeff Goldblum. I mean, come on.
yes.
Peter Weller's just like watching nails down a chalkboard.
You've got John Lithgow. Come on.
That was actually the
I'm
funny
trying to
part.
think. I've seen
As
I've
Lord
probably-
John Big Boutte.
I've probably seen every time travel movie, and I cannot think of one that was horrible. Hot Tub Time Machine is kind of funny.
Well, but
But the technology, I mean, as far as time travel, it's just goofy.
It's a fantasy. It's just
I don't care. It's hilarious.
It's a funny movie. But it's you get a hot tub?
I fixed my hot tub the minute I saw that movie. I went home and I fixed it.
Why don't you just go take a nap? You want to travel through time in a hot tub.
Right.
I have to change my clothes.
Well, what about Bill and Ted? Is that a terrible time travel movie?
I like Bill and Ted.
That's a goofy one, but yeah, I like it.
Okay. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
I mean,
it's second one.
Time Cop. I know Dan's going to crucify me for this, but Time Cop.
All right, Time Cop 2.
Terrible.
Horrible.
What about Loki?
How about Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Or Face the Music.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just pulled up the 10 worst time travel movies, and number 7 is Time Cop 2.
What's number
I didn't
one?
know they made a Time Cop 2. Who was in it?
They have Timeline as number 10. I like Timeline.
I actually like Timeline.
I think I saw it in theater with you, Sam.
I
Star
think
Trek Generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's number
I agree
9.
with that.
Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Oh, come on.
The weakest of the Austin Powers movies, though.
That's a we out.
Well, if
Time
we're
Cop
judging
2
it
is
on
7.
a time travel being actually part of the movie, then yeah, Austin Powers, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking at solely the coolness of the time travel itself, that's a whole different thing.
Number 4 is Free Jack.
Ugh.
Number 3 is A Sound of Thunder.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. Number 2, Just Visiting.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. And number 1, Black Knight, starring Martin Lawrence.
Never heard of it.
Well, I heard of that. I didn't even look terrible.
But as far as actual like time travel theories, one of my favorites is the Stephen King one that they made into a Hulu series, an 8-episode, the one 11/22/63.
Is that what that was? That book is this thick.
Yeah, I read that book in about a week.
Oh
That's
my
one of the
gosh.
fastest I read a book like
Well,
that.
good for you.
And it's one of those crazy, he just backs into a diner, he just backs in and goes to the same spot. Every time he goes in, it resets back to that moment. And the concept was kind of interesting.
Well, but do you consider, for example, Groundhog Day time travel?
No. That's a time loop.
Yep.
Okay.
Time loops are different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Fellas, Stephen Hawking, and
The
your
professor has spoken.
Voice. How they differ.
Although somebody made a comment on TikTok of all places that time travel, if you actually were going to time travel, you have to also teleport because Earth is not in the same place as it was yesterday, let alone 10 years ago. So you can't just go right to this spot a year ago. You'll be in the middle of space. So you have to teleport.
Well, your machine has to account for that. Absolutely.
Right. Well, nobody talks about that.
You should have brought that one up in Tomorrow War because they teleported.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say because we watched it because his adult daughter is the only reason that I watched it. I like her, and
she's on
I
Chuck.
thought that too. What did you say?
Because she's from Chuck.
Yes, that's why. But I felt the same way. I was like, I don't really get it. But there was somebody online who was mad that Miri was even in the future, and I was like, but she doesn't go to the past though. Like it's like you have to be like alive or dead and whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I guess I don't know, that bothered me. But I thought whenever I watched the trailer, I thought that it was like a time loop because I didn't understand it correctly because I was only looking at her. But like that's what I was. That's the only part that I watched from that whole movie is just her chunk that she's in. But my favorite part was whenever she died because I thought it was the cheesiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, wow, there she goes. Like,
The falling into a green screen.
yeah, it was really terrible. Like I only focused on their relationship. I thought that aspect was interesting, and because I watched her other stuff, I thought that it was interesting to see her like as the 16-year-old who like watched her father. You know what I mean? Like I liked that, but that was it. It was just like, why did I watch this?
Well, they also made a mistake because she was 9 when he went into the future, and there's 30 years in the future.
39.
So she was 39.
She is now. Her birthday's at the end of the month. Yeah.
I figured
that
that
actress is really 39.
Yep.
Oh, she looks good for 39.
Well, how
Yep.
All right.
Well, Dan and I talked about this. Dan and I talked about this at length.
To 39.
Dan and I talked about this at length that in order to accept the movie, you have to accept multiple timelines, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if the future doesn't happen for her to make the antidote, there's nothing for him to come back with if he ever has to go to the future.
Right.
Well, the TVA is going to step in and prune them, so don't worry about it.
It's true. Or, as other people might say.
Everyone believes that, but that isn't true. Think about it. If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future. And your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
Exactly.
Michael Rappaport? Who was that?
That's Professor Hulk from Endgame. A classic, a literary classic in this household.
Adam, I remember this one. You go back and try to stop Pearl Harbor. There's another one.
I remember that one. Yeah.
There's another one where the ship disappears. And the guy comes back and there's like people melted into the ship.
There have been some bad versions of the Connecticut
Philadelphia Experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's also Millennium.
That was a good one. I
with
like
Chris Christopherson and Cheryl Ladd.
Millennial.
Millennium.
Yeah, Millennial.
Millennium.
Millennium.
How about the Will Ferrell Land of the Lost movie?
Oh yeah, Minuteman on Disney Channel. Oh my god, that was the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Not really, it was pretty bad, but like, as a kid, I waited for that.
Is it a time travel movie?
Yes, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, I have to watch that.
It's pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like early 2000s Disney, but like I loved it as a kid.
I think that that movie Millennium, the thought was they needed people to bring people to the future, so they would go find airplanes that were about to crash where everyone was going to die, and they would time travel to the airplane right before it crashes, and they take everybody off, and they'd put like fake people on. So when the plane crashed, all the people were still there, but they were burned beyond recognition, and then they would bring the people to the future because they couldn't reproduce.
So it was just a company that was like saving people from airline disasters?
No, they were saving the future because they needed people.
Oh, okay. I like the South Park episode where the Goobacks came back in time to take their job. Take your job. Take your job, Gooback.
I love any Star Trek episode with time travel too. The original Star Trek.
That was usually the worst episodes. That's part of the reason that Voyager was so bad. Was half the episodes were time travel episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What have we been watching?
What else you watching?
I like the episode. Star Trek had an episode. The original episode, I believe it was called "Tomorrow Never Dies."
No, The City on the Edge of Forever. You mean,
yeah, with Joan Collins, right?
Yeah, City on the Edge of Forever, written by Harlan Ellison. Yeah,
that was an interesting. That was an interesting episode because it showed an alternate timeline on Earth because she was supposed to die, and they figured out if she doesn't die, Hitler gets made president or something awful like that.
And then there's Assignment Earth with Terry Garr. There's Assignment Earth with Terry Garr.
Right, that's the one with Mr. Seven.
Yep.
Keira Knightley.
Yeah, my mom just watched Seeking a Friend for the End of the World with Steve Carell and Keira Knightley, and also adaptation with Meryl Streep and Nicolas Cage. Both free on Prime. Neither one involves time travel.
Neither one of them, no.
There you go.
But adaptation was. I think you, me, and Jeff Korn actually watched that.
Yes.
Movie.
Yeah, we went and saw that movie in the theater.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, there was a period of about 2 years where, I mean, we would go to movies middle of the day every day. Unemployed writers, actors, that's what you do.
Nice. So
go to the matinees.
The writers, didn't you go see a movie tonight?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. You thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you want to say about it? Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, it's like this.
Oh, okay. I will say, because you guys.
What was it?
We saw Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
I will say, I saw it the night it was released, and I agreed with you on the sort of like, watched it again this weekend. Second viewing, much better.
Okay,
that's good.
You watched it at home?
The stuff at the beginning, Disney Plus. The stuff at the beginning hits a little harder, a little better, in my opinion, if you know what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, because whenever we first, I'm not going to give anything away, but like whenever you first watch it, it's like, I liked it because you could see where she comes from.
Yeah.
But like with her dad, I was like, that's her dad. What the heck is he doing? And then like you get it. I understood that, but it was just like very uncomfortable right away for me. I was like, okay.
So second viewing, I found I enjoyed it a lot more.
That's good.
It's still not one of the top 10 in the Marvel universe, definitely not. But it was better at least. Not a second.
Also, your expectations were, I hate to say your expectations were so high, but your hopes were so high.
It was hopes. It wasn't. I actually had pretty low expectations.
High hopes, low expectations.
It's doing well. It's the best performing movie since the pandemic started.
My
Doing
mother
well.
asked me yesterday. She said, "Oh, I heard this movie is really great, and it's called Black Widow. Do you know what it's about?" I said, "Mom, it's a superhero movie." She went, "Oh." She was really sad. She thought something great was coming out.
She thought it was about Vanessa Bryant.
She's not really a superhero. She doesn't have superpowers. She's just a regular
hero.
I'm kind of. I gotta say, I'm kind of over the whole superhero thing.
Same.
Oh, blasphemy!
Well, then you better not go to movies for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam. We got to go.
You know.
So isn't it? Well, here's what's amazing. It did 80 million in the theater and 60 million at home.
Wow.
This is the new model. I'm telling you, this is what they're going to start doing. If you want the theater experience, go. If not, you pay the $30. You watch it.
You got a huge fan base. They're going to watch it whether it's good or not.
So both.
That's what happened. That's what happened with the movie with Chris Pratt, the Tomorrow War. People watch it because I love Chris Pratt. That's why.
But that's not coming out in the theater. It's only on Amazon.
No, I watched it on streaming.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Only
It's
streaming.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be in the theater. They filmed it in like Christmas 2019, and then COVID hit, so it was supposed to come out Christmas 2020, but in the theater, but it did not, obviously. And then they were like, "Oh, summer blockbuster, it's really fun, like bring people together, whatever."
Well, you know, Chloe from 24 was very good in it. She died.
Oh,
Yes, she was, wasn't she?
Favorite character.
Marilyn Reichstab, or whatever you pronounce her.
So I will say, if you have Disney Plus, 6 minutes of your time to watch the Good, the Bart, and the Loki is totally time well spent. It is a Marvel Simpsons crossover.
Oh
my gosh.
It's 6 minutes, and 3 of those minutes are credits.
Directed by Sergio Leone.
It's fantastic, and obviously they got all the real voices and everybody. So it's harmless. It's humor. You know, it's a good time.
Another one
That's a good question.
Monsters at Work.
Yeah.
On Disney Plus.
Monsters.
I want to watch that. That's on my wish list here.
It's
It's
cute.
cute. Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm kind of refusing to buy Disney Plus because I don't want to pay for another streaming service. But I want an honest opinion here. Is there anything really on there worth that you can binge? Because I am out of anything to binge.
Sam, do you like John Stamos?
There's a lot.
Do you like basketball?
Not really.
movies?
A lot, like a lot. Like you have posters of John Stamos hanging over your bed.
No, I don't.
Not anymore. He did in
It's
Studio
Joey
City.
Lawrence. Come on.
There's a lot. There's a lot of different stuff. Like I grew up watching like the older Disney shows and stuff like that. So I obviously, as soon as I got it, I was like, "Oh, Kim Possible all the way." Like I went through all of that stuff. So like stuff whenever I was a kid. But then they have
about the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
that one's on there.
there.
I don't like it, but if you're like a huge Star Wars fan and you know a lot of the other stuff, because my best friend loves it because
It was a solid.
Yeah.
Then Loki's on there.
There's Marvel stuff.
You also have
He's over superheroes, so he's not going to want to do the Marvel stuff.
You have
But there's
Agent-
also actual things like from National Geographic.
Yeah,
They
Jeff,
have own shows from that.
Jeff Goldblum stuff to me is worth at least a month or two.
If it's
Plus,
there's
some
script with Marvel characters in it, I'll watch it. If it's
There's some great old classic Disney
There's
movies.
a good story, but it seems like everybody just we don't have any real good dialogue here, so let's blow something in this jet engine.
Disney made some great movies in the '60s, and there's some fun stuff to watch. Just if you,
I mean, you've got Splash,
Swiss Family Robinson. I
Three
still
Men in a
enjoy.
Boat is on
remember
there.
On the National Geographic, there's the Ice Road Rescues, which I binged that recently, and
Oh, I've seen all those almost.
it was
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, these are rescues where they're
I was looking at
Norway.
Ice Road Truckers. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Norway.
Yeah, they're in Norway, and actually in Black Widow, she's in Norway, and we're all like, "Oh wow, that road looks like it was." Really
You're like, "Oh, we know that road. We know that street."
Hey, Sam,
Cool.
It's a crossover.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
We're waiting
Sam,
towards-
Sam,
I
you paying,
figured he was going to show up with his tow truck when her car was. hanging on the bridge.
Sam, you paying for Hulu?
No,
Oh, because you
I
can get
have
Hulu.
Netflix and Amazon.
You can get
Gilmore
Hulu,
Girls.
Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus as one package now.
Have you watched The Umbrella Academy?
I tried. I kind of lost interest.
Huh, okay.
Sam, what brand phone do you
I
have?
think I needed to give it more of a chance. I think I was maybe
it's not for everyone. It is, and if you're not into superheroes too, it is a bit of a stretch.
Well, it's not that I'm not into superheroes. I just think it's just been done way too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I do is I would pause my Netflix account for 2 months, do Disney Plus for a couple of months, and then if you're not into it, go back to Netflix, right? Because you can just pause Netflix, and then save the money and go bounce between the two.
You can actually do that. I've been trying to get rid of it. I've been trying to finish Gilmore Girls for 3 months. I'm on the last episode.
Sam, are you with Verizon by any chance?
No, I'm with AT&T.
AT&T, I think you get HBO Plus with AT&T.
Yeah, I got HBO Plus.
But with Verizon, you get Hulu, Disney Plus.
Yeah, you get 6 months of.
You get 6 months of it. So just get a Verizon phone for.
Are you hosting a telethon we don't know about?
It's Dan gets kicked.
Are you?
It's EriDan
phone.
phone.
You right now?
It's EriDan
code
phone.
Dr. Laugh when you're signing up for Disney Plus, and pay the same price as everybody else.
It comes pre-installed with the EriDan app.
Speaking of EriDan merchandise, go to eridanshop.com and you get a hat like this.
And get your
that hat is amazing.
Get your phone.
Get your e-phone.
Get your e-phone.
Your Aerophone.
ED phone. Oh, sorry, I meant for Aaron and Dan. That sounded weird.
Aaron.
Aaron. Whoa, this thing's.
Yeah, I'm logging that phone.
All right. Yeah.
It comes pre-hacked.
The last movie I saw that I really liked was with Chris Pratt, and it was called Passengers. I don't know if you.
I heard about that one. Yeah.
I really like Passengers because it really, first of all, you get invested in both of the characters very, very heavily. But the next thing is that everybody is wondering, everybody in the theater is wondering at the same time, would I react the same way? Would I do the same thing?
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
It's
really good. And I watched that knowing nothing going into it. I love to watch a movie and not even read the description. I was like, Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence, sure, let's see what this is. And wow. And I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. Like I hadn't read anything. It was just like a blurry album, picture on the front of the DVD, the picture art. And I was just like, sure, let's watch that.
It was very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
It's one of those ones where you don't know what's going on until pretty close to the end in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched Travelers on Netflix?
No.
Time travel. There's like 2 or 3 seasons of it. You can binge that. Okay. Travelers.
Is it like that?
It's like Will from Will and Grace stars in it.
Okay.
Future come in, they embody other people's bodies.
Like the one with the kid from Arrested Development, Sliders. Was that?
No, not Sliders. Sliders was Jerry O'Connell wasn't in
That's right. Yeah, but I'm thinking it sounds like Sliders.
Right. This is a newer show, but it's called Travelers. Really good. I think they did 2 or 3 seasons.
Adam has amazing suggestion here. Nick Cage has a new movie coming out where he's looking for a pig. It's called Pig.
Wow.
Look for that.
Nick Cage starring as the
Nicolas Cage.
Probably will still be better than Ghost Pig.
Pig Rider.
What?
Yeah, Pig Rider, yeah. When he gets angry, his face becomes a pig, and he drives.
Not the riders.
Okay.
I've never had the idea of fine glass.
Yeah, I always get upset when I see no riders on the side of a car.
Yeah,
or
it just all riders must wear shoes.
Nicolas Cage as Forrest Gump.
Oh my god,
that might work.
May not be a smart man, but I know what love is. Oh, that's Keanu Reeves.
You said like Keanu Reeves there.
I know that's Keanu Reeves. Yeah, but he would have been a good Forrest Gump too. Keanu Reeves.
Nicolas Cage was in a time travel movie.
Oh my god, which one's the pig?
Which was the pig?
He finds the pig. Spoiler, apparently he finds the pig.
Why does he look like that? Oh my god.
Wait, did he do a face swap?
No, he already did that.
That's really John Travolta. Yeah.
John Travolta. Is John Travolta the pig?
The pig
John
was
Travolta voices the pig.
Nick, it's great over here.
This is a Babe crossover. It's Babe.
Gosh, it's great.
That'll do.
Does Six do the theme song? Babe, I'm leaving.
We can do Pigs on the Wing from Pink Floyd.
Good.
Nicolas Cage was in a time travel movie.
Which one?
I know he has to.
Which
He's
Nick
done
Cage?
like 1,000 movies.
He's been in
Peggy
every
Sue
type
got
of
married.
Oh,
Oh,
Peggy
he
Sue
was-
got married.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, Peggy Sue got married. Yeah, that was a fun, cute movie.
Kathleen
I really
Turner.
got that movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also in the one? Was he in the one where he comes back to life and he starts playing the song and it's that Cher song? I still remember when. What movie was that from?
That was not. Peggy
I
Sue
think
got
that's in your
married.
dreams, Dan.
No, that Debbie Gibson. That's Only in My Dreams is her song.
No.
I
Hey, don't be riffing on a Debbie Gibson. She's got a new album coming out soon.
God, you guys. Love Debbie.
It's gonna be so amazing.
So great.
So amazing.
It could be.
That'll
no,
be on your music.
Nick Cage had a movie called Next in 2007. Blessed or Cursed, with the ability to see events minutes before they
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. Yeah, it's not very good.
Earns a living as a
That's so
magician in Las
Raven.
Vegas to keep a low profile under an alias.
It's
When
not
terror-
absolutely horrible, but it's not very good.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's Nick Cage.
You can get through it, you know.
Well, Nick Cage has been. I mean, Moonstruck, Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona, Moonstruck, both were great.
Yeah. National Treasure. Come on. National Treasure
Those
2.
were Those were
Ghost
good.
Rider.
Chances
Those
are,
were-
the movie was called Chances Are. The song was called After All with Peter Cetera and Cher.
Peter Cetera.
Peter
Remember
Cetera.
Peter Cetera.
Oh, that
Etc.
was Robert Downey Jr., right?
No, was it Robert Downey Jr.?
After all, was that where he went back in time? No, he died, and then he's like, I have to get back there. I have things I have to do. And then he was born, and then he met Sybil Shepherd later on.
That was Robert Downey Jr.
He
Yeah.
was after Sybil Shepherd.
That's a great synopsis, Dan.
Based on
Ryan
the
Reynolds was already there, like being him. You know, I mean, it was the whole. I think that's the name of the movie. Chances Are.
Yes, you are correct. There is a movie called Chances Are with Sybil Shepherd and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And that's the one with the song.
How about that?
Chances Are.
And Richard Marx. No, not Richard Marx.
Oh my God.
Louis Jeffries, a young district attorney, is hit and dies in a car in 1964, but manages to slip by the pearly gates and instantly reborn.
Right.
23 years later, his widow still misses him, ignoring the frustrated devotion of his best friend, Philip Train, who's pretty much raised Louis' only daughter, Miranda, for his own blah, 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 blah. She meets Alex Finch, who works at the library. He's about to graduate, and it's Robert Downey Jr., and he starts playing that song on the piano, and that was like their song.
Chances Are.
No, I still remember when.
Because Chances Are is a classic Nat King Cole song.
Oh, no, the song is called After All.
Yeah, the one she's playing on the piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would play it real quick, but we would get kicked. Who cares? It's almost the end of the show.
A good way to end the show. Get kicked off every week.
I still remember when, and then Peter Cetera sings it. Gotta love Peter Cetera.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Do we have to love Peter Cetera?
I really don't have to love Peter.
Very interesting looking guy.
I know we had to at a time.
Chicago. I mean, come on.
Right.
I love early Chicago, but after Terry Katz's death, it wasn't the same.
No, I mean I like late Chicago. I just don't like current Chicago.
Yeah.
Nah.
The singer that came in after, they did 2 albums after Peter Cetera left. They had some really good music.
Once they hit Hot Streets, there was nothing left.
Oh, come on, those 80 power ballads.
Oh.
Yeah, all the power ballads.
Peter Cetera went out on his own and put out a couple of hit records.
I remember.
Glory of
I don't
Love.
want to, but I remember.
Oh, Dave, you got old and right after you got married, didn't you?
I love some current music. That's not Peter Cetera. Not
It's Hard Habits of Break.
I think he had a
Oh,
great
oh.
voice. He had a really
our
powerful
love
voice.
was meant
He has
to
a voice
be.
that his voice has a similar effect to me that Michael Bolton's does.
Oh,
When a
come on.
man loves a woman. If we get kicked off for that, that's a good impression.
Wow.
Oh, Sam.
Can you do
By
Rick
the way,
Springfield?
Rat Race is streaming on HBO Max.
Oh, good.
Is it anywhere else? Do you?
Yes, it's on Apple TV. It's for pay other places, but it's streaming for free on HBO Max if you're a subscriber.
Okay.
It's $3 on Amazon, for example.
Wait, maybe not.
Okay.
Next. I have Showtime.
One thing I didn't know about Richard Marx is how many songs he wrote.
Yes.
Mm.
That's
You should have known better.
There you go.
that reminds
Nice
me.
one.
That reminds me what else Wade and I watched. We watched the Monkees
Oh yeah.
movie that they made.
Head?
Oh no,
No, not that. Oh,
the tribute movie.
the tribute movie.
Right, with actors playing
It was a documentary, right?
It's not
If you say the Monkees movie, I think Head.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see that. I hadn't even heard of it until I was looking stuff up.
partially written by Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
It's
Kinda
hard.
makes sense.
That's hard.
It was funny how they matched these actors to who they were playing. They were pretty good because the guy who played Jack Nicholson in this movie looked like
What was
Jack
the name of the
Nicholson
movie?
back then. What was it called?
It's Daydream Believers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we thought, I said, oh, let's
2004.
watch this.
It's a little older, but yeah, it was decent.
Hopefully they did a better job of it than the Three Stooges movie did. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the 2012 one with Sofia Vergara. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was more recent than that. They did a Three Stooges movie, and I can't remember who played the roles, but it wasn't good.
Oh,
one of the guys was Julia's boyfriend.
Julia?
Yeah, that's right. Forgot for
yeah. Sorry.
Our friend Julia.
Her friend Julia, yeah, was dating one of the guys that was in that remake, the Three Stooges movie.
Was that from the Farrelly brothers?
I'm looking at something right now. Here it is. Yes, it was by the Farrelly brothers, and it starred Sean Hayes.
It was good.
Will Sasko.
Yeah, Will Sasko and Chris Diamandopoulos. I don't know how to
I mean,
say
it's hard
that.
to play real people. I understand that. It really
I
is.
thought that they did a good job with that.
Which is good saying because she
For the
doesn't really
Monkees,
like
yeah.
Three Stooges. So.
Yeah, the Monkey's pretty good. It's
The
not
Monkees
bad.
was
I mean,
okay.
I find my problem with anything like that because I felt that way about the Elton John yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Where all it did was make me want to go listen to the real music.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about the Monkees. I
But
love their
at
songs.
least with Bohemian
Same
Rhapsody,
thing with
it really
Queen.
was the real music.
Yes, that's the thing. Bohemian Rhapsody is awesome because
Bohemian
it's the real music.
Yeah, it makes you want to really listen to Queen.
You know,
Well, there are a few. There are a few of those music biopic. I mean, Gary Busey was surprisingly good as Buddy Holly.
right?
Yes.
Also,
And he-
and there was
that's
also
the only thing he was ever good at.
Did he sing?
yes,
Yeah.
But I
Wow.
think there was also more time from when Buddy Holly had those hits and the time that movie came out. Like Elton John, it's like
that was
you
his
know.
big break, wasn't it? Was Buddy Holly?
That was his first huge role that I remember him in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recall of Fire.
I think that Elton John's movie will do better like once he's gone.
I just feel
I
like
hate to say that, but
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the Elton John, it you know, and nothing against. Well, I didn't enjoy it, but nonetheless. But as far as the music went, it was like an 80% version of how good the Elton John songs were.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Okay.
Simon Phillips was pretty decent in La Bamba.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to do those music biopics, though. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason I said that saying about Richard Marx writing a lot of music is because they were talking about who wrote the Monkees songs. It was Neil Diamond.
He did write a couple of their
Who
songs.
wrote Daydream Believer. And I'm like, yeah, I hear that. I can
No,
hear
he wrote I'm a Believer.
I'm a sorry.
You got your believers wrong, but that's all right. But no, you absolutely can hear that.
That's an easy mistake.
When Richard Marx was 18 years old, he was writing with Lionel Richie.
That's
And
crazy.
on All Night Long, when you hear all night, that's Richard Marx.
Cool.
He's a backup singer on a bunch of songs, and he's going through it in his book. And then he did that. This I Remember. What's the song? The NSYNC song.
The NSYNC song.
You know their big ballad, the big slow song that was like a #1 hit. This I'm Telling You, or This I Remember. Or, I don't know. He wrote that. I mean, he's married to Daisy Fuentes from MTV.
This I Promise You.
This I Promise You was written by Richard Marx.
This I Promise You.
That was a good one.
That is a good one. And there's videos of Richard Mark performing it with JC Chazes on YouTube. If you want to watch Richard Mark sing with more members of NSYNC, you can go.
JC
Google that right now.
Chazé has Blown Me Up With Your Love. I love that song. The beat to it, I don't know why.
Wow.
If you've heard that
I
song,
didn't know you were such a big Chazes fan.
who knew?
I had no idea.
I have eclectic music tastes. I like things you would never believe, and I hate things you wouldn't believe either.
And you hate that we wouldn't believe them.
Daydream believer, love. Would you believe? Hate.
Red Drink Joke, man.
Bop to you drop.
Shop till you drop. I like that one.
You like, you know.
Monkeys were great.
I
was like 2 or 3 when they came out, but I remember them. I remember.
They're fun.
Pushing the bed down the street. Here we come.
Yeah, I was old enough.
Only monkey song I do not like is the theme from the Monkeys.
Really? You don't like that?
No, I do not like the theme from them. I'm a huge monkey fan. Like I own every Monkey album on vinyl, at least one copy. But the theme comes on, and it's just like, it's
impressionable.
The music producer Andrew Sandoval, he actually is selling some monkey stuff on eBay. It's
no way.
interesting stuff,
Yeah, I know. I mean, Mike, and Mickey are still out there touring. They're
I know.
going to be in Greenville and Greensburg later in the fall, and it's sold out. It's like sold out super fast. Yeah, so they're doing.
It reminds people of their youth.
Yeah,
it really does.
Actually, I know I've told the story when I hung out with Mickey Dolenz in Montreal.
You met him?
Comedy Festival. I've told that story before. He was hitting on people. Did you ever hear of the Monkeys? Wow.
I've been like, yeah.
I've heard of the Monkeys. Yes, I know who you are.
See, what you hope to in a few years is going, you ever hear of Dan's dad? I'm Dan.
You ever hear of EriDan? Although my voice won't be high.
Voice is going to change.
You're going through reverse puberty? What's going on?
Mickey has a very high voice.
Yeah.
He definitely. There's always been a little bit of attitude, especially from Mickey about the whole thing. Wanting to have some respect, and I know that.
Well, I think Peter rebelled against it the most because he felt he was probably the most musician going in, and he really had his hands tied.
Yeah. He was the first one to quit and then come back and then quit. And then
I know as recent as even like 10 years ago when I saw. It was before Davey passed away, and it was Davey, Peter, and Mickey. Mickey would still introduce I'm a Believer by being like, I sang this song long before Shrek. And then it's like, okay. It's all right. You're getting the check. Relax. It's okay.
But that is one of those songs whenever I hear a different version on the radio, I say, but I want to hear the Monkees version.
Yeah.
You don't enjoy the Smash Mouth?
It's not terrible, but I want to. But if I hear it, it's like you said about 80%. It's like I'd rather hear the Monkees version.
Mm-hmm. So he's like 80. They're getting up there in age.
He's 76.
Mickey just released an album, a brand new album of him covering Michael Nesmith songs.
Yes,
Michael Nesmith's. Solo career after the Monkees. Mickey has an album now of covers of Mike Nesmith's songs.
That Mike Nesmith's son produced.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to take off. I got to get something to eat.
You should do that.
All right, Sam. If I don't see you between now and August, I'll call you before I come down. I'll be down in LA.
Yeah, let me know. I'd love to hang out.
You should be here next week.
He looks like William Shatner.
That going on. No, Sam, you should Rat Race. Be back.
Rat Race is next week.
He looks like a leprechaun in this picture.
Yeah, sort of.
What do you think he does?
He's Irish.
Oh, it's after me, Lucky Charm.
It's got these monkey pot and cold here, don't you?
I'm a believer. I saw her face.
Alphabet soup.
Inappropriate now? Can we do that? We're gonna get a call from somebody.
FCC.
Yeah, he was the one that was
Look how handsome I was.
He's cute.
That's a
Much better looking than Peter Gallagher.
Oh, those eyebrows.
He
He's
does
got
have
better
eyebrows.
eyes than Peter Gallagher.
Those are normal.
Anyway, I'll see you later, guys.
Bye.
Hi, Sam.
No, this is the one that I had a crush on because we used to watch it because we had the CD in our car, and then we just listened to it all the time. And then they were like, "Oh, it's on TV." And now, I mean, I guess it's kind of reversed, but it reminds me of Big Time Rush. Is what I think about the Nickelodeon.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. See that?
Yeah.
So actually, Adam, Michael Nesmith's mother invented liquid paper.
Yes, liquid paper, not white out.
Not white out, but
which is
similar.
white
Oh,
out.
that was an old Sam Kinison joke. Of them, touring in their, into their geriatrics and coming out with the walker, oh, I wish my mom had invented whiteout.
Well, in that movie, you see somebody using it while they're writing their music.
Nice.
So, yeah, and I just started laughing. And it used to say Nesmith on the bottle. My aunt showed me that because we used to watch the Monkees with her, and she showed me that. And then the next year, she sold it for $48,000.
That's it.
Yeah, well, in '79, I think that was big money.
Yeah, it was still worth a few $100,000 a day. Yeah.
I think that was the price I said.
Nothing, but maybe some royalties.
Maybe I was wrong about that. That does seem low to say it out loud.
But they also were sort of crippled from the beginning because the network, Mickey was not a drummer, but they stuck him behind the drums because they wanted Davey to be in front because they thought he was the cutest.
Well, he's also 4 foot tall, so if he was behind the drums, you wouldn't have seen him.
He's the real leprechaun.
And he was British, so I think they had wanted that going for them with the Beatles competing.
Yeah.
Mike was quirky.
I loved Mike.
Davey was cute. Peter was sort of the quietest one.
Peter was the one I didn't really care for, and now I love him.
Mm-hmm.
There's me and Mickey.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that just after he said to you, "You ever hear of the Monkees?"
Oh, he wasn't saying it to. He was saying it to women that he was hitting.
I know.
Oh, you're saying he's hitting on me? Oh, okay. This was actually in Aspen. This was not in Montreal. He was there the following year in Montreal.
And he was just hanging.
He was just hanging out. He loves comedy. He was going to all the comedy festivals.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's cool, man.
When was that?
I always liked his voice better than Davey's anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Never liked Davey's voice.
I like the mix. I love the fact that you listen to a Monkees album and you get various lead singers throughout.
Yes.
Right? And that you'll get a country song and you'll get a rock song and you'll get a cheesy ballad. And, so any album, like Headquarters is absolutely my hands down.
Oh, Headquarters is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such a mix. It is such a wide, it's like listening to Bob FM. It is like there is not one genre in there of music. Because they all had such unique.
When I think of my favorite Monkey songs, they're all sung by Mickey. I just, for some reason, Daydream Believer, that never really resonated with me as much as I'm a Believer, Last Train to Clarksville, or some of the other ones. Yeah.
Magic. I don't know. I think some of my favorite ones are Mike's, which is, odd because he wasn't my favorite Monkey.
I know.
But some of his songs.
Well, he was also the best songwriter in the band.
Yes. Absolutely.
Although Peter's music was, he had the closing credit song.
He did. That's right. For Pete's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And here's a lovely picture of Mike and his mom from 1924.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about that?
Oh no, she was born in 1924.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, she wasn't born in. Yeah, sorry. Sorry,
he was about 8 when she was born. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. Come on.
That's fine.
Come on. Yeah. How about that?
Well,
I thought Love was only two.
Actually, she sold liquid paper to the Gillette Corporation for $47.5 million.
Million.
Yeah, that's more like.
That's much more like.
So so worth now $174 million. So yeah, they're doing fine. That trust fund is paying out dividends for years to come still.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't need the gig.
No, but he's having a good time. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it was pretty clear that he and Davey had issues, right? Because the moment Davey died, Mike's like, I'm touring. Because there were 20 years of Mickey, Peter, and Davey touring.
But you never heard, unlike Crosby, Stills, and Nash, you never heard them talking smack about each other. I realized people didn't care about the Monkees as much. But everybody else in the band can't stand David Crosby. And Crosby's the one that wants to get the band back together because he needs the money.
But I did read that Mike Nesmith had issue with Peter too. So
yeah, Peter. It's when Peter died that he started coming back too.
Yes.
Well,
it was just Mickey and Peter for a while.
Close, But yeah, there was a brief.
The question is,
when the three of them.
When the next one dies, will the remaining one still tour as the Monkees?
I can't. There's no way. Right now,
Mickey Dolenz was here. Mickey Dolenz was here by himself at the local casino.
Well, Mike Love tours as the Beach Boys with a bunch of nobodies.
Well, including John Stamos as the drummer.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, I think he's actually with the Beach Boys.
Is he still touring with them?
Every once in a while, he pops up.
Yeah.
So
this is called the farewell tour, but aren't they all for any band?
I mean, Kiss is on their 9th farewell tour.
Yes,
the Eagles had multiple farewell tours,
but they will be at the Palace Theater in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, in November. If you want to see,
who will?
Are they going to be here anytime soon?
Where are you? No, I'm just kidding.
The Seattle area.
How do you feel about Seattle, Washington on September 11th? They will be at the Moore Theater.
Oh, that's a great little venue. I saw Adam Carolla there once.
There you go. But tickets, I mean, really, like, because I considered going to the one in Greensburg, but by the time I decided, which was like a week and a half after they were released, there were no good seats left unless I wanted to sit by myself. So that wasn't going to happen. But I hear that Mike has pretty much announced that he's going to tour until he dies, and so I think there'll be another chance to see him again. Here we have, of course, Lennon over McCartney.
Absolutely, I agree with that completely.
I don't agree with that, but that's all right. That's different strokes.
I love Dana Carvey's Paul McCartney impression. It struck me as very real.
Wow, I have to share this. So I know somebody that works for this company. So anytime there's a theater thing, he's like, "Just call me. I'll get you in, even if it's sold out. I'll get you can hang out, side stage or whatever." Because he's like the stage.
That's how you Hollywood types roll.
Yeah, he lives here on the island. But what am I trying to do? I want to share this. This is hysterical. Come on, screen.
That's what a good comedian always does: is prefaces a joke with, "This is hysterical."
Well, no,
that's part of the setup.
All right, so there are a few seats available. There's one seat.
An Evening with the Monkees. Oh, look at that!
Right there. It's accessible. It's not just. It's just wheelchair accessible. Front row. Hold on. Let's see how much this it was. Was it $242?
That's not bad. Front
So you
row.
just have to fake an injury.
No, it's just accessible. It's not.
It said in that screen you put up, it's for accessible access only.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Isn't that hilarious?
But how could they be there alone? They got to have some help. Like you have somebody in a wheelchair. You have somebody come. You're not going to go by yourself. You're going to bring somebody with you.
I'm just telling you what the text said. Dan.
Lieutenant Dan got around just fine. The streets of New York with no help at all. He could get up to the front row of the Monkees.
Look, you can VIP check.
Okay, now what does it say when you actually then go to the next page?
Wheelchair accessible.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All
So
right.
I click
Please
on this.
adjust your search.
Select
Click on
it.
this. Accessible, available. All right, next. You have selected wheelchair accessible.
Accessible tickets are for fans with accessible needs and their companions only.
I'm the companion. They're just not here. They couldn't make it.
They couldn't get a ticket.
Just take a wheelchair. It's Elijah.
Yeah. Well, they won't let you see the price of that ticket.
I think. Well, it says that anything in that row is like $240.
So you just have to go hang out in the streets and it costs people with wheelchairs and say, "Want to come to a concert?"
There's some seats way in the back there. Those are kind of.
You have the very last seat.
We see, and this is what it looked like. Where it's like, do you want to go alone, or can we go to a concert and sit in different rows? I'll see you after the show. I'll be 2 rows behind you, singing "Daydream Believer."
I'm just going to buy all the seats that are left.
Oh, there you go.
I'll be a
scalper.
I'll be a one-man scalping thing.
Just hang outside. Be like, you don't look like you have any friends. You want to go see the Monkees?
Anyway,
amazing.
Don't forget. I mean, Adam says he always preferred Leno over
McCartney.
Leno over Lennon. Hey, look at this here.
Imagine all the people.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget. Forrest Gump actually wrote the song "Imagine."
That I know, right there. Right
While
there.
sitting on the Dick Cavett show.
Well, the weird thing about that was it was actually written by Yoko. But anyway,
or he also wiped mud off.
Scoring my score. Then
the lyrics were written by Yoko. She now has co-authorship credit. Yeah.
Well, she
got credit. I don't know that she wrote it.
She was watching.
It was a published poem of hers that he used.
Oh, I thought all of her songs were.
No, she was an awful singer, but
yeah,
not a horrible poet.
Well, how about that?
Also, when you wipe your face, it makes a smiley face when you wipe.
Oh, I know. My God, that was the dumb.
That was pretty dumb.
Stuff. Yeah. Some of the running stuff.
Have a nice day.
It happens.
It happened. Yeah.
What happens?
So, Rat Race. Critics are a little rough, and the audience is a little rough on this movie.
And some people who've seen it are a little rough on it too.
Yeah. So it'll that's
Jerry Zucker movie. Cuba Gooding Jr., John Cleese.
It's not in the library.
They all got paid to be in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So how about that? Look how happy they are with the money.
Well, they gross of less than twice its budget. It would be considered a minor failure, I would think.
Yes. It did not seem to with.
As we discussed when we did A Mad World, the days of those huge all-star casts are largely over. You don't see that much anymore.
You're watching a Marvel movie. No, I agree.
Or actually, Wes Anderson tends to have that. And Wes Anderson will have all these huge stars in small roles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he will.
And Brad Pitt and George Clooney are always willing to get together with a few friends to make a movie.
True, yeah. Need to get a Wes Anderson movie on the wheel one time.
You don't know the Royal Tenenbaums?
No, it'd be more Grand Budapest Hotel or Mr. Fox, Isle of Dogs.
All very possible.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom was
weird.
I've never seen
it. I like it.
It was weirdly good, but I still was like,
I think we watched it twice.
Is that the one with the
camping trip?
Yeah.
It's the camp, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Grand Budapest might be my favorite of his, among his non-animated anyway. Yeah.
Well, how about that? Oh, I didn't realize Dean Cain was in Rat Race. That changes everything.
Terry Hatcher?
We gotta change it.
Kathy Najiminy is in there.
Not the Jiminy Cricket here.
No, the Jiminy Glick. So tell me, you're Rat Race. What's that like?
Absolutely. Got some Kathy Bates.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm your biggest fan.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's an all-star cast.
Well, not all of these.
You guys that one.
Linda Kearns is in this.
John Lovitz.
There you go. Wow.
John Lovitz is hysterical in this movie.
She's one from Sister Act, yeah?
The Nazi scene is hysterical. Not something you expect somebody that's Jewish to say, but...
Well, the Nazi scene in the producers is here.
Yes, that's true. Springtime
for Hitler and Germany.
Oh, boy.
All right.
So there you go.
The Rat Race coming up next Monday.
Yep.
Saturday, we've got...
We'll be here, except for Dan will be here.
I've got Clutch Radio on Saturday, which we're doing live from my car.
Wow.
We'll drive around the new electric car and do the show live from the car, which we've done twice before. Maybe we'll take it through the car wash. That's always fun. And then Monday we have this, and then the following Wednesday.
That is correct. So
I'm glad we did that way because it turns out I have dinner plans this Wednesday.
Wow, you could have streamed live from that, but no. Yeah, I told you it's a good idea. So excellent. So so we'll see you all back here on Dan will see you.
I'll see you Saturday for Clutch Radio, and
you'll see Dan for Clutch Radio, but we'll see you next Monday for Rat Race. Awesome. Good night. See you. Bye.